Now, another thing that I know is already happening, you sent this over, is the use of artificial intelligence, AI, in personalized medicine. We saw this last year when we picked up something called TrueDose PRP that used AI to not just count the number of platelets that were being pulled out of someone, but then personalize the exact high concentration that should come back for a specific therapeutic result, whether that's regeneration of a knee, whether that's systemic kind of stem cell activation, and have seen great results with it. But I feel like it's just the tip of the iceberg, right? This is just looking at platelets and then really personalizing that way. What are you excited for AI and medicine?
Right. All right. So I'm sure you've heard about all the craze when it comes to single nucleotide polymorphisms. The thing is that SNPs are very common in the population and they're the norm. You're going to have somewhere close to 15,000 different SNPs for a single gene. If the human being has 30,000 genes that are coding for proteins, 15,000 times 30,000, that's a lot of variety, which is why we say that medicine should be bio-individualized. Everybody's a little bit different, and it's very true. Well, with all of that data, you can take the sequence of your patients and the people that you're working with and see what are their quirks. From there, run it through whatever AI system you may have, software, and they can find out what medicines may be of harm, what may be of better use, and really personalize medicine on a totally different scale. So it's not just, as you mentioned, PRP. You can do different supplements that are tailored to the person so much that they'll never experience some negative side effect. And you can also figure out basically the time frame in which you should see some results for the person, because it's that individualized, because it's taking so much data from what we know about a single gene and how long it takes for a human being to get better by manipulating that gene or that metabolic pathway. That's where I believe AI is going to transform things.
Now, let me play devil's advocate here, because I've thought about this a bit. The use of AI and high forms of computer technology, does that start to push out the art of medicine and even the need for a doctor? Because really quickly, you go to, let's say, a facility at any point, and there's something there that takes your blood, is able to read it, able to run it through all the latest research, view your genetic, everything. And then it basically gives you the best treatment plan and could probably even prescribe it right then and there without the use of any human or even the need for a human and a doctor. Now, that to me is a little dystopian, maybe even a little bit, looking too far into the future, but I don't think it's that far off. But what are your thoughts?
I see that happening as well, but I do see when it comes to physical diseases and diseases that are still not understood, for example, they'll apply artificial intelligence to the mainstream diseases. Somebody has autoimmune and dermatitis or some psoriatic problem, they'll use AI for that. When it comes to the fringe diseases, chronic Lyme disease, mold toxicity, I highly doubt it. And you would have to work with somebody outside of the hospital setting to get that. And the person that you're working with will have to have access to AI as well, because it's going to be expensive. There's no doubt about that. Now, I also have a fear that with all of this great benefit also comes the fact that if you're using people's genetic information, where is that going to go? Is that going to go to government officials if they need it for some purpose or whatever? That's another quirk that needs to be figured out, as has been with 23andMe since they've sold some of the genetic information before, which was not ideal. So yeah, there's definitely some downsides to it. And I definitely see the dystopian aspect, but with any technology, we can use it for good if we choose to do so.